It can be dangerous to think of businesses as machines that you can just fix. Why? Because companies are made up of people who need to be led, not just told, but engaged and led. So how do you engage and lead people through change with less trauma, fewer surprises, and better results? 2 steps. First, you form 1 or more teams. And second, you convene people in those teams to engage in the 7 critical conversations. This particular video focuses on the first of those conversations, purpose. The topic here is your target customers may not be who you think they are. The tool I will show you here is called the System of Customers. It will enable you to look at your company's customers through a very important lens, the lens of power and influence. You and your team can apply this lens around who your target customer is so that you can see and set the right priorities required to unlock business growth. The setup is, I'm on a video conference with Paul, the CEO at a pharmaceutical company. Paul and I have run into a snag. Who his team's target customer is not clearly defined. As a result, we haven't been able to draft an accurate operational purpose for his team, and it's vital that we sort it out. I pick up the conversation. Okay, Paul, let me take you through some steps to clarify your team's target customer. He nods, and I continue. I think I might have an explanation for your current situation. As I understand it, it took a number of years for your company to get a foothold for your technology, to develop and bring to market your pain medicines. Paul nods and says, at least the last 7 years for us to get through clinical trials, and then another 5 to develop a positive reputation, he said. Exactly, I continue. And so now your company has reached an inflection point and has entered a different growth stage, a scaling up stage. He nods and steps in to finish my thought. And the reason that my team isn't yet clear about our target customer is because we haven't yet recognized that we are now in this new growth stage. But when we do, we'll probably shift our thinking. That's the idea, I say. He nods and I continue. So I like this quote from Peter Drucker, which conveys an idea that you might want to share with your team. It is, the purpose of a business is to create its customer. I like it because it reminds me that customers are the ultimate arbiters of whether your team is creating real value or not. And here is the key point that you want your team to remember. Your target customers are those with the greatest power and influence over your success around bringing your products and services to market. One more thing. Your goal as CEO is to build an organization that is fully aligned towards your target customer at all levels. Teams and organizations that are not clear about their target customers can easily fool themselves. They can and often do become unknowingly self-serving, starting to believe that their comfort or that of their boss or internal bureaucracy equals customer value. And as a result, business growth can get gummed up. He nods and I continue. Many organizations talk as if they only have one customer, and some do, but many times they actually have a system of customers. And in that system, those customers with the greatest power and influence are called target customers. Let me show you. For example, consider a blue jeans company that sells jeans to kids. What are the different roles in their buying process? Who are their target customers? This diagram shows 5 kinds of customers. These 5 types are typical for most businesses. It also shows the relative power among those different types. Let me say more about customer power and influence. Some customers have the power to push for and advocate for your products and services. Others have the power to block against, and some have both kinds of power, which includes your target customers. Here are the different groups. First are channels. They include people or groups that resell or deliver your products and services. And for the jeans company, they include retail store buyers. As a group, retail store buyers are powerful, with significant power to push for and to block against. End users use your products and services. Here they are the kids who wear the jeans. Types of power that kids have include power to push for and power to block against. Kids are powerful, but they have less power overall than the retail store buyers. Payers pay for your products and services. Here they include parents. Parents mostly have power to block against, but not much power to push for. Gatekeepers control access to channels, end users, and payers. Here they are also the parents. As gatekeepers, parents mostly have the power to block against. As an aside, in this diagram, one group, for example, parents, can show up multiple times playing multiple different roles at the same time. Here, parents are both payers and gatekeepers. And finally are influencers. They influence the choices of all the other roles. Here they include friends of the kids. This group has the least amount of power overall. Now for the big question. Who is the jeans company's target customer? What does this diagram imply? It implies that retail store channel buyers are the target customers because their goodwill is the key to the kingdom that unlocks the entire system of customers. To grow, this jeans company needs to provide retail stores the entire range of products and services that are required to win them as customers. This means that the company needs to offer great jeans, plus deliver services, plus advertising services, plus retail strategy support, and. They need to offer a bundle of both products and services. Now, how many people who work for the jeans company think that kids are the target customer and that the company only needs to sell products, not services? And how could that cause problems? Well, imagine what could happen if the company were to put the needs of the kids or parents above those of the retail buyers. And, for example, stop providing key services to retail channels like advertising. How long would the company stay in business? Not long. Do you see my point? Paul nods. Got it. The value proposition includes a bundle of products and services focused on the target customer. Let's apply this framework to my company, he says, and I continue. Okay, Paul, here is what I've heard so far about the system of customers at your pharmaceutical company. Looking through the lens of power and influence, here are your types of customers. Channels are multidisciplinary healthcare teams and hospitals. They have power both to block and to push for. End users are patients. They have both kinds of power, but are less powerful than multidisciplinary teams. Payers are health insurance. They can block against, but not push for. Gatekeepers are hospital boards. Their power is mostly to block against. And finally are influencers. They include healthcare industry and patient activists. And as a group, their power is mostly to block. Have I missed any key roles in your system of customers? No, you caught them all, he says. So the big question is, who are your target customers, I ask. Obviously, the multidisciplinary teams and hospitals, he responds. And is your team aligned around this understanding of your target customer, I ask. No, he says. I can now see that they are not, and that has big implications. Some team members think patients are our target customers. They are unaware of the distinctions that you've just made. One of the major implications is they don't understand that the services like therapies and training that we offer to and through multidisciplinary teams in hospitals are as essential to our value proposition as the medicines that we produce. In fact, these services are our secret sauce. They are how we unlock our system of customers. And this is important for me to make sure that my team understands, because I sometimes hear them discounting the importance of our services as part of our overall value proposition and focusing more on our products as the key. Also, I've been thinking about what you said about how my job as CEO is to make sure that our whole organization is aligned towards our target customers. I've realized that I've allowed some of our internal functions, including finance, operations, and IT, to gain disproportionate power and influence above our business leaders. And my business leaders have been complaining that we're becoming too internally focused and that we can't cost cut our way to growth. I'm going to need to think about how to reverse this equation and to realign my organization towards serving our target customers in order to unlock business growth. As part of the solution, I'm going to need to invest in developing business leaders and teams with stronger business leadership skills so that they can better advocate how to win from the perspective of our target customers. In other words, I need to develop leaders and teams skilled in driving all 7 of the critical conversations: purpose, focus, mindset, roles, interdependencies, strategies, and implementation. Another insight is I now understand why some of my team members don't really seem to understand how our team-based sales approach is designed to work. We are organized so that different roles in our organization focus on different types of customers. Our salespeople focus on multidisciplinary healthcare teams. Our business development people focus on health insurance and hospital boards. And our marketing team focuses on influencing patients and influencers overall. That is our approach. That's how we seek to influence and manage our entire system of customers as a system. It is how we systematically enter new markets, and it's the approach that we are going to need to scale up during the next growth stage. That's a big deal, I agree. Understanding those key distinctions could significantly impact how effectively your team and organization works, especially as you make choices around how to staff and enter new markets. For example, it will impact how your team finds solutions that balance investing to build an effective local presence while also investing in shared services to create global economies of scale. I continue. So now that we're clear about your target customer, we can begin to draft an operational purpose statement. That statement will give us a more concise way to express all of the points that we've just discussed. In this video, I just introduced you to how to identify your team's target customer. This approach will benefit any kind of team, regardless of the simplicity or complexity of their situation. For example, you can use it with business teams as well as functional teams. Every kind of team should know who its target customer is. The next video will dive into defining your team's operational purpose. To do this, I'm going to introduce you to a powerful framework for envisioning customer-centric businesses called the Business Triangle. Click on the button or tab associated with this video to get a link to that next video. In that video, I look forward to showing you the secret to accelerating business growth, which is aligning all of your team's purposes towards serving their customers.